Now we're going to read today's Igeres HaKedesh, Kuntas Acharon, Yud Zayin. And it's a letter about davening. And the nekud of this letter is that people don't take davening seriously, and they should, and for a variety of reasons, including the fact that davening is a deiraisa. Hine, leiteva shmua shamaiti. It's not good, the shmua, the rumor that I heard, but tirgas bitni, and it made me angry inside of myself. Asher am havaya, that the community of Jews, Mavid and Milafnetev have removed from the Amid the guy who never davened slow, Hanikra Balas, slowpoke, yes? Ha'ish ha'chafetz b'chayim, a person who desires life. And moreover, Varichas Yamim shel kol anash, and the longevity of all of anash. How? Shebemikdash ma'at hazeh shel anash, in the small sanctuary, the small base mikdash of Chassidim, which means a shul. Kemaim, and as Allah says in the Gemara, Shleish Advarim Arichim Yamav Shalom, three things give a person a long life, and ve'echad mihem, and one of those three things is Amayach, which will also say a person who davens long. So one guy is davening long. So in effect, he's chafetz b'chayim, and Arichas Yamim shall kol anash. He wants everybody to benefit from davening long, and the people are pushing away from the Amid because they're in a rush. And if you're very busy and say, listen, I need a quick minyan because I got to get to work. There's no way in the world that if the minyan is davening slow and normal, that you are capable of lahamtin and achaniyas kedusha shel chazar sashat, to wait till after the chazan says kedusha. Says Alter Rebbe, hazeh halitev tev lei. It's preferred for such a person shalei lishmei kedusha baruch hu, not listen to Kedusha baruch hu, and daven b'yechidus. Right, you're davening in a shul with a minyan, and you're davening alone because you're in a rush. Don't rush the minyan, rush yourself. Mileired lechayeyim, to attack the life. 1 second. Shalachafetzim b'chaim, who desire life, which is arichas atfilah. What about me? Since you're an oinus, you have to go to work, make parnasa. So Eibishter forgives you. Daven quick, but in the name of God, don't rush the minyan. V'ashatz, and the shatz, the minyan chazan, meitzi deichevase, is fulfilling your obligation. The afshalei shama, you didn't hear kaddish kedusha baruch, you didn't daven the minyan. It's kilu shama, as if you heard shukameya shukaina mamash, as you answered mamash. So if you make your own minyan daven quick, I don't know if you're going to be able to have the schus of the other minyan. Daven b'yechidus, I'm in a rush, but the minyan daven slow. Because it's eight, no, and even the mile of Tfilah B'tzibur. The mile of Tfilah B'tzibur itself. V'ashatz meitzi dechevos, and the chazan says you yochev afshalei shama, though you didn't hear kilo shama, as if you heard. Shukein mamish, like answering the chazan mamish. Ukedeis, the Gemara, like the Gemara says, gavi am shebesades, that a person lives in a city, in fields, in villages, where there's no minyan. The anisi, that it's not his fault, he has no minyan because he's an oinus. They could even be yaitz davening shmesa itself, and kosher mekavachem mechazar sashatz bechazar sashatz by the chazan davening the shmesa aloud. Ilu shamu mamish, that they heard mamish. V'gam kedusha baruch hu b'klal, and for sure kedusha baruch hu was in the same klal. So the Rebbe says, don't rush the minyan, rush yourself. Let the minyan daven slow. Favos, because davening is important. Now, some guy's going to come along in Tanya, daven only the Rabbanan. This day has been against davening being a day Raisa, but it's only like Eatim, or maybe once a day, but Nusach Atfilah and 2 or 3 times a day, it's for sure the Rabbanan. Says Vihine. Zeis Chakranua, this we searched. Kainu, it was also true. Afgab Aderes Reshenim, also in earlier times, Chachmei Mishnah V'Gemara, times in the Mishnah V'Gemara, that even though Shoyis Atrasam Keva V'Ikar Abdasim V'Leit Filas, the most important thing in their life was their learning. And it was like learning was more important than davening. And nevertheless, they davened, and they davened slowly. How much more so now? On the heels of Mashiach, we cannot make Torah the most important priority in our life because there's so much tzadis. And therefore, the most important service to the Eibusha during these times of the hills of Mashiach. He had tefillah is davening, which costs v'rachav zal be'etz chaim b'priyetz chaim. Like that's in Kabbalah, we had it before in the beginning of the Igeres HaKedesh. So now that davening becomes the ikir, much more so. It's appropriate and it's fit. Litein nafsheinu mamish Allah, to give our lives mamish for the inyan of davening, that we should daven slowly and with kavanah, without distraction and without nonsense. And Alter Rebbe says, "V'hi chayva shel Torah mamish." It's mamish. I mean to say deiraisa, l'mevine mada, to people who understand a little bit, because a lot of people are going to tire of the davening, especially this manei tefillah and the nusach tefillah of the Rabbanan. So Alter Rebbe, that may be true, but the pnimius of tefillah is for sure deiraisa. Kuf samach beis amar aleph. Okay? And that is that Tuyelas HaYizbonenus, the benefit of thinking, and delving deeply with one's mind at least a little bit. Kol Chadav from each one according to his measurement and limitation. Besidur Shvachish al Makam Baruch Hu, in arranging the praise of the Eibishter. Bepsuke de Zimra, when you say the songs of praise. Ushtei Berachah Shalifnei Krishma, the two blessings before the Shema Yetzer v'Ahavo, that which of course affects Le'eder Bohen, to arouse during them. Ha'ahava ha'mesuteres, the hidden love. Belev Kol Yisrael, which is hidden in the hearts of every Jew. Love lebchinas gilui, to be revealed with galos halev, revealed in the heart, b'shas kishma, in the time of Krishma. So you'd spend time thinking about the Eibishter and contemplating what the Eibishter does for you in Pesukei de Zimra and Berachas Krishma. So when you get to Shema, you have actual Avas Hashem and Yiras Hashem. Okay? Says the Alter Rebbe, Zeis he mitzvahs ha'avas ha'apostle, you have to have a gamer. You're fulfilling a mitzvah, say the Reise of Avas Hashem, and not only the Rabbanan of Tefillah, of Nusach Tefillah. Chalav Chav a gamer. Says the Alter Rebbe, Nim the Tzrishene Batayag mitzvahs, which are the first of 613 mitzvahs, Avas Hashem. Which it costs of a Rambam Zal, as the Rambam writes, you say the Atera, it's foundations of the Torah. V'shasha, the root, u'moken, and the source of the Chol Ramach mitzvah say, to all 248 mitzvahs say. Where the Rambam says that Ava, the Sheish Ramach say, I don't know. It's number one. And Vashenas Ava is not the first mitzvah, it's the third mitzvah. The first mitzvah is Yidiyas Hashem. And the second mitzvah is Yidiyas Ha'achtos. And the third mitzvah is Ava, the fourth mitzvah is Yira. But in Indian Gerat, it's the first mitzvah. Yidiyas Hashem and Avas Hashem and all this is done b'shas Tefillah. So maybe davening out davening maybe a drabonon, but davening out Yidiyas Hashem and davening out Avas Hashem is for sure a deiraisa. Kel Av Amazut Teres Lev Kol Yisrael, so long as love remains hidden into every Jew. So you may have a natural love which is hidden b'til doisam v'tivam, by your birth and by your nature. However, you cannot say that when you love Hashem from your pintel yid alone, it's your ahava. Says the Alter Rebbe, l'shayach tzivi klal. You cannot command to love from your nature. V'das l'navel lokal. It's very self-understood. Ki k'sheh ha'av ha'imesut teres. When the love is hidden, it's only in the godly soul. And because it's in the godly soul, the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya Perek Tezayin, it's called loy avodah. The fact that you have a pintel yid does not make you avodah. You're not working to reveal the Avas Hashem. It's natural. It only becomes avodah when you reveal it, even if what you're revealing is not an Avas Sichlis, but an Avas Tivis. The fact that you're revealing it makes it avodah. Okay? However, when it's revealed, the nefesh achyunus to the animal soul, as I saw, then he is galus alev, it becomes revealed. Turn the page. V'cholol smali, in the left ventricle of the heart, which is mekei mishka nefesh achyunus, the place of the seat of the animal soul. And the Alter Rebbe says, when you do that, then you are creating the Avas Hashem. The Avativis alone, you didn't do that. That's the Neshama, the Shalakis. When you reveal the Avativis, this is Avodah. B'meila, there's many mitzvahs I say connected to Tefillah, his bonus and Avas Hashem and so forth. And he continues and he says, and the emphasis is another point. In addition to the fact that when you daven and say Krishma, and of course you do it with kavanah and with passion, and you makayim the mitzvah of Yidiyas Hashem and Avas Hashem, there's another inyan, and that's as follows. V'zau inyan birur of nitzutzes hamus kesham beit chaim beit chaim. You're also elevating sparks, like it says in Kabbalah. David Philip get that. It's a third inyan or second inyan. Davening is a deraisa because of Yidiyas Hashem, because of Avas Hashem, and davening is also elevating sparks. How? Shalachain, therefore, since davening involves elevating sparks, therefore, he yikar avodah is the primary avodah. Beikves Mashiach, in the time that is the heels of Mashiach, which we know was levad and etutas v'chol, to elevate the lost sparks and so forth. Shubachinus is hapcha, which is transforming the sparks into godliness, or at least iskafia, bending the sparks. Shal nefesh achinus of the animal soul, the nefesh alakis to the godly soul, kaneda as it is known. So when you daven, you're doing also a beating of sparks, and you're elevating the sparks, which also explains why elevating davening is important. Before Mashiach, the sparks have to be elevated. 1 second. The blood is your soul. And every day you need new blood, from eating and drinking. So you daven, you're using the blood, which gets its energy from the food and the drink. And therefore, by davening, you're mavarer, your nefesh habahamis. V'gam mispol, and you're reacting. V'nitkin, and you're repairing. Mibalbushim, v'dira, v'chuli. from the garments that you wear and the home that you live in. In other words, when you daven, you're being mavader, your chalkei ba'elam through your davening. The gashmis that you have is elevated through your davening, because you're davening with your nefesh habahamis, which is in the blood. And the nefesh habahamis benefits from all the gashmis that you have, and therefore davening mavader beirurim. And I would suppose that maybe he means to say, as opposed to teda, which only nefesh halakis v'adayin sarachiyah. Mashen came with der sadeshenim, as opposed to in earlier generations. Shahayu neshamas halikis, the godly souls were gedelia erech on a much higher madrega, and therefore hayabir nasakirega b'kishma levad. They would quickly say Shema, and they elevated all the sparks. Ubrachas shalfanah, the brachas before, upsukkah dezimah b'ktaran, and abridged psukkah dezimah b'choli v'dal. But nowadays need a long tefillah, because the tefillah is setting us up for the kiyum of kama mitzvahs asay de'erais. Your question.